7-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake, and Farmer will put it up, throws over the middle. Pull, touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levitt swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Another touchdown.
Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
On this team this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025. This one the other way. They're going back. That's the drag. What's up and down?
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.
Takes his shot for Darby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
What's good, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? Welcome into Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the good old Twitter, as totally boneheaded the first part of the show. I was up here in the studio and I was going, but I hit go live, but just hit it once, didn't hit it the second time. So hence I was talking to myself, Pitchfork Lunchers. I know you'd absolutely love that. Yeah, I know you'd absolutely love that. That is hilarious. And I had a lot of good stuff to say, previewing women's hoops, men's hoops. We're going to hear from Willie Bloomquist first. Then I'm going to go back and preview men's and women's hoops here. As you know, I pulled a Mr. Rogers for you. get the Sun Devil garb fully on for you guys. So yes, Mr. Rogers can do it. Kids, you can look it up. And no, it's not Tom Hanks. Although he played a hell of a Mr. Rogers, he did a phenomenal job. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, look up Mr. Rogers and what he did and all that good stuff, and we can go from there. But anyway, I am Michael Gertner at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. You know it, you love it. You can check it out live every day from normally 12 to 1. And like I said, I did that first part of the show, and I noticed when I was running the commercials that time wasn't going on my end. So that is my bad, but it was very good stuff. And I will get back to it. I promise you, I will get back to it. But yes, you can see it, like I said, at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. Check it out there live every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, normally. Also, don't forget the wonderful world of the good old IG of Michael.Caratanudo.5. So, yes, all you have to do is add a dot between our first and last name and then a .5. Bam, there you are on IG. And last but not least, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps. Yes, go to YouTube. And I know you guys know how to go to YouTube. So go to YouTube and guess what? Watch live, but you need to subscribe, because if you've missed any of the shows, you know what I'm going to say, shame on you, where have you been? But I got you covered, because you can go to YouTube and you can subscribe and get all caught up, because you have missed a plethora of phenomenal con reviews, whether it be with coaches, players, voices, insiders, alum. Again, and we're going to be out at swimming tomorrow. Again, swimming champs, national champs just 2 seasons ago. Pac-12 champs the last year of it, national champs on the men's side. And then on the women's side, both men and women won the Pac-12 or Big 12 championship last year. So yes, and the men men and women crushed it, forks up in the Big 12 West meet that they had. So yes, we will have swimming tomorrow. But my point is, you have missed a ton, and but you can go to YouTube, you subscribe, you see my name, Michael Caratanudo. But the page is at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, guys. And like I said, subscribe, because you have a lot to catch up on. There's a lot of great con reviews there, and again, a lot of friends of the program that I've developed in these over 2.5 seasons now. So again, you get more people going, and we obviously don't have the same conversation every time. So that, my friends, in and of itself is awesome. So yes, you go to YouTube, subscribe to all that. Again, it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe. All right, since I was a bonehead, I know it hit live twice. I could have swore I did. Started playing the intro. But that's why, obviously, I did it again, because now I am live. So, but we're going to hear from Willie Bloomquist first. Coach Bloomquist, guys, baseball-wise, as you know, was extended just last week. Actually, the morning we were out there, finished up his extension. So he will be there again. A lot of some have grown. Pardon me. The scholarships have grown, and so now with 34, it's a lot different than what they used to have. So again, administration dumping into it. Coach Bloomquist against Stoke, but I say that a lot of new guys through the portal, but there's still a lot of returners. New Contratus again got banged up right before the Big 12 tournament last year, and unfortunately, draft wise, but fortunately for Sun Devil fans, unfortunately for him, just a great kid, and I look forward to sitting down with him, having him on here. Hopefully right before the season starts, working that out. But anyway, yeah, so that is a bummer, getting drafted, but he is back. And I did say they named captains. Might he be one of them? You'll find out. We're going to hear from Coach Bloomquist first, but like I said, we're going to talk men's hoops and women's hoops. Men play West Virginia tonight at DFA, women on the road, as we talked about yesterday, and as I talked about to myself, which, again, always thrilling for me, always thrilling for me on that. But nonetheless, my friends, and football, by the way, announced their schedule. So this is how it goes for football. Real quick, they open up September 5th, home against Morgan State. Then they go to Kyle Field at Texas A&M, right? And September 19th, guys, is the trip to London as they take on KU. Got a transfer from KU. So, again, that'll be very, very interesting in the portal as well. So, Morgan State, September 5th. September 12th, Texas A&M at Kyle Field. September 19th in London against Kansas. The 26th, a bye, well-deserved bye. And then October 3rd, the Big 12 home opener against Baylor. Then they are home October 10th. Again, late to have another non-con game. But, again, since they take on Kansas week 3 in London, which I would have voted for that week 1, just like Iowa State and K-State did last year in Ireland, but that's just me. But October 3rd, Big 12 home opener against Baylor. Then October 10th, they're home against Hawaii. Then October 17th, they go to Lubbock as they are at Texas Tech. Again, third year in a row, past 2 Big 12 champs, squaring off October 17th. Then October 24th, they're home for K-State. Halloween, they're away at BYU. And then November 7th, they are home for Colorado. Then November 14th, they go to UCF. November 21st, Oklahoma State comes here. And then November 28th, down in Tucson to take on that team down south, Territorial Cup, looking for revenge. So, by the way, September 5th, real quick, will mark the latest opening night for Sun Devil football since the 2015 season, which was also September 5th, for the Sun Devils, and tied for the 5th latest start for a season opener since 1996. Because usually they start that last Saturday of August, or that last Thursday of August, because they opened up on Thursday for the longest time, which drove me crazy. But nonetheless, it's college football. Love the Saturdays. Anyway, yeah, and actually that November 28th, that's a Saturday game. So it's not Friday. It's not the day after Thanksgiving. It's Saturday in Tucson. So that is that. So, yes, that is their schedule as we go from there. But, yes, I'm going to jump into this. Again, I said, like, Coach Bloomquist got extended. But let's hear he'll talk about that, talking about this team. You know, last year, obviously, getting into postseason, huge. Loved it. Everybody loved that. Everybody loved that. And but won one game in regionals, and then that was it. So, and then, but anyway, coach talks about that. But this team, again, a lot of transfers. We'll get to the roster. Yes, I will get to it. But yes, let's hear from Coach Bloomquist. Yeah, team extension, everything. His 5th season, love it. An alum, Forks up, love talking to Coach Bloomquist. Can't wait to. And again, we'll should be another media thing, and we'll get it. We'll get, we'll catch up with him. We do it here. He's been awesome and gracious, and love it here on Pitchfork Lunch. So here is Sun Devil baseball head coach Willie Bloomquist.
Coming through the big news this morning, about you staying here. Talk about the process and working with, the Graham, but everyone here at the administration at Arizona State to stay.
For me, it's I have more energy and more excitement now than I did on the first day that I took this job. It's a special place to work, great place to be. It's a privilege to be here. I'm honored to be here and lead this program. I'd never take that for granted. I'm a Sun Devil through and through, and I love it here, and I want what's best for this program, and we'll continue to keep grinding, for this place. We have a ton of momentum going right now, and I firmly believe that the program's in from where we started to where we are now. Things continue to get better, and it's been a tough road early on, but obviously we're at a place now where I feel there's a ton of momentum. We set an attendance record last year, both complete season attendance, also single game attendance. That's been huge. That momentum, the recruiting game is starting to pick up. We're starting to be able to commit, a lot of these, top 100 kids in the country. We're able to break through to the postseason last year. That's not our ultimate goal, of course. Our goal is to go deep in the postseason, but everything shows progress in the right direction. I'm just truly honored that the administration, values me and what we're doing, and the direction we're going. I can't be more excited in the direction we're going, and the type of kids that we're getting in here. And the draft has been good to us, and we're getting our guys moved on to the next level. So all that momentum that we're creating hopefully continues to translate into our program being successful.
Talk about that direction, a lot of new faces coming in. Maybe go a little bit deeper. What precisely about the direction excites you so much?
The overall level of players that we're getting in here, and the desire that we're getting kids to come here, and guys that we want. We're not finishing second place in a lot of these recruiting battles. We're starting to get guys that are noticing what we're doing, how we're developing our players, being able to take what we've taken and get them to the next level and be successful with those guys. Now guys are wanting to come here. We had a tremendously successful transfer portal class. We were the #1 non-SEC school in the country. I think we finished 10th or 11th rankings, whatever-wise, and got a slew of really good players that want to come here. And we continue to do our job and develop them once they get here, and hopefully we win, and then they move on to successful professional careers. And all that stuff, again, combined with the attendance, combined with the amount of scholarships we've been given from administration, and Dr. Crow and Graham have teed us up pretty nicely with the full allotment of scholarships, being able to use that in recruiting and help these guys get here. I'm overall just extremely excited about the direction we're going.
You talk about those guys, those transfers that really want to be here. How have you seen that manifest itself in the work so far they've put in?
They just this group, again, all of our kids have worked extremely hard since I've been here. No complaints about that. This group is no different. They've come in here with a desire and a work ethic to get better. One thing about this team is we are very deep. So there's going to be, come opening day, there's going to be some really good players sitting by me on the bench that probably aren't used to sitting the bench, but that's all by design. We need depth, we need competitiveness on our team and in our roster. Again, that's a tribute to guys wanting to come here. They understand the situation that they're in before they got here. They're willing to take on that challenge, and just in order to be a part of this program. So to me, that tells me that the health of the program is getting better. And are we there yet? No, but we are moving rapidly in the right direction, and a lot of momentum toward where we want to get to.
And you mentioned depth. Obviously, a lot of new guys, but I mean, the pitchers coming back, what you have overall in the pitching rotation, how do you feel they've just grown from last season and through the fall and to now?
I mean, it's the experience that they've gotten, and we took some growing pains when they were freshmen, of course, and we knew that was going to be the case, but they took a big step forward last year, and we look for them to take another step forward this year. Cole Carlone, Josh Butler, Wyatt Halverson, our local kids that have stuck it out here and done a tremendous job, not only for us, but this summer, and have taken step forwards, and we look for them to anchor us moving forward. Easton Barrett's had a nice spring so far, and we've able to add with some depth in the transfer portal as well, and guys that are competing for not only starting jobs but the back end bullpen roles as well. Colin Linder's a kid that was here last year but was recovering from Tommy John from his previous junior college. We stuck with him throughout the whole year last year in his rehab process. He's come out this fall and thrown the ball extremely well. And then this spring it continues to throw it well. So a lot of positive things going on with those guys, and we're looking forward to continuing the spring. Obviously we have to inter-squad here for a few more weeks before we tee it up for real, but guys are getting anxious and they're fighting for positions.
Yeah, speaking of postseason last year, what have you seen from your returners and just that knowledge of what it takes to get to that next level and continue to grow?
I think we didn't end the year how we wanted to last year, and it's a learning lesson not only for myself but for these guys to finish the job. We didn't finish the regular season how we wanted to last year. We were in great position to win the Big 12. We laid an egg that last weekend at Okie State, and that stung a little bit. We didn't have a good conference tournament and lost to BYU, and then we got into regionals, and that was a tremendous experience for our guys. But we're not satisfied with winning one game and going home. That's not what we're about, and these guys understand that. But they've used that to where they got a little bit of a taste of it, which is good. But no way are they satisfied with what happened last year, and they're hopefully using that as motivation with the work ethic this fall and this spring to just to get better.
You mentioned Barrett and Linder. What are some other guys that have stuck out in the fall and now into the spring side of the things?
Alex Overbay has done a good job. Coming in here. Cole Klecker is a young man, obviously, that's from our area that was transferred from TCU and bounced back and came back here. We look for his experience to help us. Fitzy, who's been here obviously for several years, is done a really good job throwing the baseball as well. Finn Edwards has dealing with a little bit of a back issue, but threw the heck out of it this fall. Nick Anello, Colby Guy. There's several guys that are in the mix here, to get valuable innings, and we're looking forward to, again, guys forming roles and taking advantage of their opportunities, and see ultimately who wins the rotation battles on the weekend and who's going to be those back end guys and eat up a lot of innings for us.
Coach, you mentioned the transfer portal, a lot of young guys, a lot of new guys. How has it been building the clubhouse up and getting these guys to work and be one unit together?
I think that's always going to be a challenge, in today's world where the landscape's changed, right? You're not just recruiting just freshmen and then building with those. Obviously, that's the ideal, but with the amount of transfers that we brought in, we did a lot of homework on the guys we brought in and understand they're the right type of kids, and are going to be good team guys, and that combined with the amount of competition that we've created for positions, these guys are playing hard. They're not overly worried about selfishly just their own individual accolades. They're worried about us winning, and we've stressed the fact that winning teams, as a result, you reap the rewards as an individual in the long run. So we've got pretty good buy-in from these guys, and they're eager to play together, and we'll see how the roles form, and that'll be the big thing, and see how we gel as we get going here early on will be key to see who wins the jobs and who kind of formulates their roles and who the leaders are in the lineup. But some guys have already stepped up and shown some phenomenal stuff. Dean Toigo's been outstanding. He's a character and has a lot of personality and has been a lot of fun to have. PJ Mutsaridis has done a great job. Dominic Longo, several guys, Austin Rolig. There's going to be a lot of competition for playing time, and it's the standard that we're setting, which is good.
Speaking to a guy like Dean Toigo moments ago, who says he wishes he would have found this clubhouse early in his collegiate career. What's it like to hear that from a guy who's new to campus and already loving his time here?
For me, that's an awesome compliment, I guess, for the culture that we have here, the staff that we have here. Because Dean hasn't been to just one stop and then here. He's been to three or four stops before he got here. So for this to be able to compare to not just one program but several of them, and have him feel that way about ASU and what we're doing here, lets me know we're doing it right. And he's he's a good player. I wish I'd have found him earlier too, because he's had a heck of a fall and off to a great start this spring, and is going to be a staple in the lineup for us.
5 of the top 25 in the preseason rankings are on your guys' schedule, 3 of them on that weekend in Arlington. What can that, just early in the season, serve as kind of a barometer for the rest of the way for you guys, like an early season test?
We scheduled very tough, this year, and part of that's by design. Part of it, I think we're in a position in the program where we can take that on, and we're not going to back down from anybody. We're going to take every challenge as head on, but especially early on when you face those good teams, you're going to get battle tested. We're not going to try to get too caught up in the win-loss record early on versus just playing good baseball and doing what we're capable of doing, but hopefully that playing against several of those good SEC teams and other teams that we've scheduled early will prepare us, for conference, because our conference schedule is going to be obviously tough. We open up with TCU at home, who's I think probably picked to win our conference, and they're going to be a tough challenge right out of the gate. So, playing A&M and Tennessee and Mississippi State, Oklahoma, those teams on the road, it's going to be tough, right? But that's good for us. We need that. We need to toughen up a little bit and find out where we're at and come back and be battle tested.
Coach, obviously last year was a breakout year between reinforcing MLBU, getting back to the tournament. I know you kind of alluded to it, but internally, why do you believe that the administration believed in sustained success for your tenure?
I think it's they've looked at the whole body of work. They understood when we took over. It was there were some things that needed to be fixed, I think, and we've had a very unique landscape change over the past 3 years, right? We've got transfer portal, we've got NIL, now we got conference realignment, we got all these different things, and we put another banner on the wall yet? No, we haven't, but we've withstood the storm of that and made it through, and still have a lot of areas where we've been very successful. Again, we've got 28 kids drafted in 4 years. We've set attendance records. We're continuing to be a revenue producing sport. We're doing a lot of things that are exciting. Now the administration has invested into us with more scholarships, right? So and we've been doing this with next to bare minimum, and now we've have some investment put into the program with that stuff. I think the future is extremely bright. So given all that stuff, the momentum that we have, the excitement, the players that are eager to come here, the recruiting classes that are starting to pile up, just a whole lot of excitement for the program. And I think like I said, I'm blessed, I'm fortunate, I'm extremely excited that they want to keep me around and keep doing this. Again, I'll do this as long as they want me to do it, right? And so long as it's great for the program, I'll keep giving everything I got for this place.
Coach, you had some animosity with the Maroon Gold World Series, little stuff happening there. How do you funnel that for the rest of the season?
I was excited about the Maroon and Gold stuff. We had a we had a little issue there, and for me, I was not. I think people were looking at me to see how are you going to respond? How are you going to be upset? And the answer to me was no, I'm not. Do I want our kids fighting? No. And getting after each other? No. But on the same token, I enjoyed it because there's kids competing at the highest level. They're taking it seriously. They're getting after it with a lot of intensity, which is what I asked for. Again, do I want them throwing blows? No. And ultimately that boiled over, and that happened in our Maroon and Gold series. That's okay. I mean, you see it in football practice all the time. Guys get after it and tangle. But when it happens on a baseball field, that's it's kind of surprising and shocking. But on the same token, that's what I ask of our guys, is to be intense and go after each other during the Maroon and Gold series. And it boiled over a little bit. That's okay. We talked about it. Now that we're done with fighting against each other, now it's, join arms and let's go do that against somebody else. Ironically, we had two top 50 recruits in the country that were here that day and saw it, and I'm like, oh boy, we're gonna lose those kids. Well, both of them committed that night, so because they love the intensity that we play with, and like, heck yeah, I want to be part of that. So for me, again, I don't frown upon it. I don't encourage our guys throwing hands against each other, but on the same token, I love the intensity. I love how they're getting after it and how they're going about their business, and with a purpose and with that intensity of we're not going to back down to anybody. And to me, that's what I want. That's exactly kind of what I'm talking about with Maroon and Gold. It's relentless competition and getting after each other and getting after the game of baseball, right? Let's not do this passive. Let's be ultra aggressive on what we're doing. Let's do it with a purpose, be passionate about it. You're either going backwards or you're going forward. There's no staying put and being stagnant. Cole is a guy that has every reason to sit back and read his accolades and everything that happened last year, but refuses to do that, right? He knows he's got to take a step forward and get better. He pitched for Team USA last year. He had a phenomenal year for us, a ton of punch outs, you know, but he's not satisfied with that, nor do I want him to be. So if he takes a step forward, we got something really special there. And he's a kid that looks to get better. Each and every day he's out here, he's put a lot of time in the weight room, getting stronger, more athletic, and developing his repertoire. So I look for him to take another step forward.
Coach, it feels like the only possible question mark on this team so far would be the starting pitching. Obviously last year, Ben and Martinez were kind of certified guys. This year, there's a bit more instability in that room. How do you kind of look at that unit so far, and are you confident going into the season that that's going to be a strong point of this team?
You know, it's I could sound contradictory here, you know, because I don't have our starters named, but yet I'm very confident at the same token that even if we don't have defined starting roles, which is, believe me, it's not what I want to go into the season with, I'm very confident that we have enough arms to navigate through games and get 27 outs, you know, throughout a 9-inning game, and be able to, you know, get 27 innings out of our pitching staff over a weekend. I'm not concerned about that. I would love to define those roles. I would love to have 3 or 4 guys step up and be those starters. However, if worst case scenario they don't, we have a lot of guys that can go 2-3 innings. It's not how I want to do it, but if we have to, I'm completely confident in that we have several guys that can go a time or two through the order and move it on to the next guy. But I'm confident somebody's going to step up. We're going to have a couple guys that'll separate themselves as those guys that can be length guys, which gets me really excited for the back end of the bullpen. As you guys know, I'm getting grayer because of we've lost some games late, and you know. But for me, it's always try to build that back end of the bullpen, and it's nice when you have a lead going into 6th, 7th that you can. It's not guaranteed, but you can be very confident who you got coming out of the pen to finish off a W. To me, that's equally as important as having good starters.
I guess it's traded.
I told them that's a huge thing, you know, for both of them. Just from the standpoint of, don't look at it as, oh, a team doesn't want me. It's like, heck no, you're in a major league trade, right? That means the team that's going to get you really wants you. So go take advantage of it. That's exciting. Zay is extremely pumped to be with the Red Sox, a phenomenal organization. Kind of bummed to see Jack, you know, not here as a D-back, but he's going to the St. Louis Cardinals, which again is another phenomenal organization that do a great job developing. You know, I think it's tribute to both those guys, you know, that they're wanted and teams are going after them. So yeah, I'm happy for both of them. Anxious to see what they do.
It's pretty cool. You got traded straight up for Noah Arenado.
Yeah, and $28 million too. That's awesome. But you know, hey, I'm excited for him. Jack was out here throwing a bullpen, you know, the other day, and good to see him. He's going to do great things. So, on another note, I didn't mention, but I will mention, this is the first year we've named team captains, and Sean Fitzpatrick and New Contradas are our team captains. They were voted unanimously by their teammates. I think that's a big thing. Speaks to the quality of young men these two guys are, for continuing to grind and be Sun Devils, and how they go about their business has been phenomenal. So just to kind of segue into those guys, I'm sure you're talking to next, but they're just phenomenal young men who I'm pumped to have lead the program along with us. So yeah, very exciting.
So it was voted on by the whole team and the coaches too?
Coaches had nothing to do with it other than just count up the votes. So, and to me, it wasn't even, after I got halfway through it, it's a landslide. I mean, these two hands down were, in the past, it would have been very muddled in the middle where there's too many guys. This is just hands down. Their teammates chose you to be our dudes, to be our team captains. So couldn't think of two better guys. We have a lot of phenomenal young men in there, but these two stand out and are great kids. So I'm pumped to have them.
Then there you go. Look at that. Talking about the captain's last, their schedule. Yes, they go to Arlington. It is insane. I know I mentioned obviously football's schedule, my friends, but for baseball, yeah, this is crazy. So February 13th, Friday the 13th, woohoo, at Phoenix Muni. They have their first home series, and they will be taking on the University of Omaha. So, yeah, little NCHC hockey school opponent there. But, yeah, they open up with Omaha 13th, 14th, 15th, and then the 17th at Phoenix Muni as well. They will take on University of Connecticut, take on UConn. And that's the 17th. And then that next weekend, again, all at Phoenix Muni, they will take on St. John's, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And then they had that Tuesday. That's again, this is the 25th. They take on Oklahoma, or the 24th and 25th, sorry, at L. Mitchell Park. They're at Oklahoma for 2 games. So they go to Oklahoma, and then the 27th through March 1st, or this is what they were talking about the schedule. They play the Amagi Bank College Baseball Series. They take on Mississippi State February 27th. February 28th, they take on Tennessee. And then March 1st, they take on Texas A&M. So, yes, that's 4 SEC schools in a row. Again, 2 games with OU, and then Mississippi State, Tennessee, and A&M. So, yeah. And then they will come home Friday, the day after the greatest day in March, March 6th. Friday, March 6th, they're home, which, again, like I said, is the day after the greatest day in March. They take on Loyola Marymount for 3 that weekend, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then they have the midweek game at Phoenix Muni March 10th, which doesn't count as a conference game, but they've done that for years. It's Territorial Cup battle, as a team from down south will be in Phoenix Muni March 10th. And then March 13th, the Big 12 opener, home opener, but TCU for 3, 13th through 15th of March. And they take on Grand Canyon March 17th at Phoenix Muni. And then March 20th through 22nd, they're at Kansas State. And then the 23rd, on the way back home, they take on UNLV on Monday. And then Wednesday, they will take on New Mexico State March 25th. And then the 27th through the 29th, West Virginia comes to Phoenix Muni. And then they end There we go. I apologize. I do not know what happened. That one I don't know what happened, but I do know that we were talking the baseball schedule. So look, again, real quick. Coach Bloomquist again. Nothing happened before that, so you heard him talking about their schedule. But they open up February 13th through 15th at home against the University of Omaha. February 17th, UConn will be at Phoenix Community, and then February 20th through 22nd, St. John's is here. And February 24th, they hit the road. They will go to Oklahoma 4-2, the 24th and 25th. Then they play in the Amagi Bank College Baseball Series, which Coach is talking about. But Mississippi State on the 27th, Tennessee on the 28th, and then A&M on the 29th. All in Arlington, Globe Liberty Field. So, yeah, that'll be awesome for them. 28th, 27th, 28th, and March 1st. Yeah, sorry. Then the day after the greatest day in March, on March 6th, which is the day after the greatest day of March, Loyola Marymount will be here at Phoenix Community for 3. Then they play a Territorial Cup game with that team down south at Phoenix Community March 10th. And then the 13th through the 15th, their first Big 12 series home opener. TCU will be here. And then the 17th, they will play Grand Canyon at Phoenix Community. Then they hit the road to go to Manhattan and take on Kansas State March 20th through 22nd. And then on the way back, they stop in Vegas to take on UNLV on Monday, March 23rd. And then Wednesday, March 25th, New Mexico State's at Muni. And then the 27th through 29th, Big 12 matchup, West Virginia's here. Then March 30th, March 30th, San Diego State is here that Monday. And then Thursday through Saturday, April 2nd through 4th, guys, they will be down in Tucson to take on Arizona for Big 12 play Territorial Cup. Awesome Territorial Cup weekend. And then at GCU, April 7th, and then UNLV will be at Phoenix Muni April 8th the next day. And then the 10th through 12th, Utah is here. And then Monday the 13th, that team down south comes up to Muni to play again in their so they'll see each other 5 times this year. Only 3 count towards conference play. But, again, those 2 other games count towards record and mean a lot. And then April 16th through 18th are at BYU. And then New Mexico State is here April 22nd, that Wednesday. And then Baylor comes to Phoenix Community the 24th and 26th of April. And then May 1st through 3rd, they are at UCF. And on the way back from that, they stop in Missouri it's a Tuesday. So they play the 3rd through the 5th, which is Sunday, May 3rd, or 1st through the 3rd, which is 3rd's a Sunday. So they travel to Missouri. They'll play on Tuesday. And then Friday through Sunday, Oklahoma State is here. And then May 12th, then they go to Grand Canyon, and then they hit the road at May 14th through 16th. They're at Houston, and then May 20th through 23rd is the Big 12 tournament. So, yes, I gave you their schedule there. Again, sorry about the little cutout before, but that is that. But, yeah, stoked for that. So, but, again, you heard Coach Bloomquist. I mean, he was talking about it. Guess what these pitchers can do? Yes, there was a little skirmish in the Maroon and Gold World Series, which I was not there for it, but I did confer with quite a few that were. And like Coach says, it happens on the football field. Everyone's like, oh, it happens on the baseball field. Yeah, a little different, especially when it's inter-squad. But hey, what did he say? Yes, he wants them to be intense. Yes, he wants them to go after each other, not to a point where, yes, they're battling like that. But, yeah. So that is the one part that is, again, absolutely awesome. Again, and guys, and then Dean Toigo, like you talked about, we'll hear from him. We'll also hear from Sean Fitzpatrick and New Contradas. Again, got them, but not today. We're gonna take a quick break, and then I'm gonna go wrap up with previewing again, for those of you here in the beginning, you know what I meant, or when I first went live. I shouldn't say in the beginning, but when I went live. So we'll talk men's and women's hoops, men at home tonight, so get on out there, and women on the road. But yes, give you ways to watch, talk games and standings, and we will go from there. So we'll step aside real quick and have more Pitchfork Lunch coming right up. All right, we are back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Carrasino at Diablo00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. You guys know it. You guys love it. It is all, you can check out the show live every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. We're going longer today. Well, we did start at 12. I'm going longer today because somebody didn't click the live button on the show twice. But nonetheless, when you mess up, you mess up. Onward and upward. And so I did this preview-ish by myself. Or for myself, but not really for me. That being said, my wonderful friends, it's men. The men take on West Virginia, so the Sun Devil men, who are 10-8 overall, again 1-4 in conference play. They've lost 2 in a row, again to number 1 and number now 6 in the country, but they were 7 when they took them on. 5-3 at home. Like to see that. 1-4 away, tough 4-1 on a neutral site. So again, you get to a tournament neutral site, that's a good sign. But again, hey, a lot of hoops left. I know. Don't call me an oblivious homer. I see it. But this team's battling, man. They are battling. They've had some injuries. They did get Bryce Long back for Arizona and for Houston. Noah Houston, again, he's been back in the lineup, knock on wood, and kind of playing himself in, like Coach talked about that. But I mean, hitting threes, he was just sinking them against Arizona and Houston. When you look again at the standings in the Big 12, West Virginia is 7th in the Big 12. They are 3-2 in conference play. 3-2 in conference play, and 12-6 overall. For the Devils, as you know, like I said, 1-4 in conference play, 10-8 overall. West Virginia, though, I will say this: they're 7th. The Devils are 13th. Again, 1-4. They need this. They need this win. They need a huge home win over the Mountaineers tonight. And but West Virginia this year, I mean, they started out, they won their first 5 games over Mount St. Mary's, Campbell, Lehigh, and They did beat Pitt 71-49, and then they took on Lafayette. They lost to Clemson by 3, lost to Xavier by 10. Clemson's score was 70-67. Xavier was 78-68. I mentioned that earlier. Anyway, I'm going to stop saying that because I'm driving myself crazy. Nonetheless, though, they beat Mercyhurst and Coppin State. And they lost to Wake Forest 75-66, tough ACC opponent. They beat Little Rock and then lost Ohio State by 1, 89-88. So they had Ohio State, and Ohio State gets the 1-point win. Then they turn around and beat Mississippi Valley State. Then they open Big 12 play. They get crushed by Iowa State 80-59. Turn around and beat Cincinnati by 2, 62-60. Then they beat Kansas, who was number 22 at the time, 86-75. Then they get boated by, well, again, no surprise there. Look at that, Houston, 77-48. Then they beat Colorado at home. Yeah, Kansas they beat at home. Cincinnati and Kansas they beat at home. Houston, they lost in Houston. And then Colorado, they took care of business 72-61. And now on Peacock tonight at 7, they take on ASU, 7 o'clock our time, by the way. Here in Arizona, so 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Mountain and Pacific. Or no, Mountain, 6 o'clock Pacific. That's right. I forgot about that part. Yeah, so West Virginia. But, I mean, you look at, like I said, they're scheduled at this point. So they take on ASU. Then they go down to Tucson to take on the number 1 team in the land still, that team down south. That's a 12 p.m. game on Saturday. And then ASU plays, that's 12 o'clock here. ASU plays 8 hours later at DFA on CBS Sports, and they are taking on Cincinnati. So anyway, West Virginia first. But, yeah, when you look at Honor Huff. It's not Connor, it's Honor. It's Honor, Honor, Honor Huff. 17.1 points a game for this young man. And then Chance Moore and Brennan Laurent are averaging 10.4. Both of them averaging 10.4 a game. And then Trayson Eaglestaff is right there at 9.9 a game. Now, Moore's only played in 12 games. Again, he's banged up. But this is a West Virginia team that's averaging 73.2 points a game, 35.9 rebounds a game, which is around what ASU's averaging. Their leading rebounder is Harlan Obioha, 5.7 and then a game. And then you have Brennan Laurent, the aforementioned, who's averaging 5.4 rebounds a game, and Chance Moore. So both those two are averaging 10.4. They're averaging 10 boards, 5 rebounds a game. So, yeah, but you look at like Huff, Moore, Laurent, and then Jasper Floyd, by the way, 3 assists a game. And he's averaging 7 points a game. They're so 7 points, 3 assists, just about 2 steals. Laurent's averaging 1.5 blocks a game, so he's kind of got around just about Samba Diop, who's averaging like 2 blocks. I'll say 2 blocks a game. Look at that. And then, but overall, stat wise too, Big 12 wise, I should say, not in the country, Big 12 wise, Honor Huff, again, 3-pointers made. For West Virginia, he's making 3-pointers, just about 4 3-pointers a game made. He is number 2 in the conference. Yeah, Masamba Diop, 1.8 blocks a game. And, 1.8. So, and you got Flory Baidunga of KU, who's averaging just almost 2.7 blocks a game. It's about 3 blocks a game. But team-wise on the offensive side, well, both ASU and West Virginia, ASU is 10th in points per game at 80.4. And West Virginia is actually last. They are 16th, dead last, 73 points a game. So, again, in their 12 wins, I mean, yeah, I see some of those teams in competition. And, again, voted by Houston, lost by one to Ohio State. But, yeah, West Virginia last 73.2 points a game. And when I was mentioning that, looking up and mentioning that, like, that's the thing, because when you look at ASU, like I said, being 10th at 80.4, and I mean, Arizona's number 1 at 90.6. So you think of the Arizona game, and it was 79-72. So they were both under their scoring. Now, Houston, who is they're actually 13th, they're averaging 78.7 points a game. And they put up 102, 101 against the Devils. But, yeah, the Devils are even ahead of them. And so, yeah, 80.4 points per game. They're just 2 points behind, literally 2 points behind Colorado, and 3 points behind UCF to go to 8th. So, I mean, yeah, if you're the Devils, you're scoring, but West Virginia dead last. So that is something I looked at. And, again, you got to play defense. When you look at field goal percentage, though, this one's tough, guys. ASU is 13th, West Virginia is 14th, 45.6 to 45.5. So ASU is a tenth of a point field goal percentage wise, which, again, that's, and you look at 3-point percentage, ASU is at 33.7, West Virginia, though, at 36.1. So that, my friends, is, again, getting close to 40 there. So you got to close out. You got to play defense. Coach Rowley's talked about that, and I mean the players have talked about that. And then after what Houston did, hitting those 8 threes, guys. Oh, come on, get out of here in the first. I mean, they're like 8 for 11 or 8 for 15, 8 for 12 in the first half, 8 for 13, whatever it was, but 8 first half 3-pointers. So that is going to be huge. And then on the defensive side, like I said, when you look at rebounds, ASU, West Virginia is 13th. ASU is dead last, 16th in rebounds. They're averaging 33.6 a game. And like I said, West Virginia is at 35.9. So, again, I mean, two rebounds difference. But yeah, that's something that I know Coach Hurley can. You can't give up those offensive rebounds. I mean, yeah, I mean, they give up a ton of offensive rebounds, but yeah, 33.6 a game to 35.9. So that's, again, just right there, a little tough. But I think that the Devils, I mean, they can win this game if Um, and then, when you look at points allowed real quick too, this is what West Virginia is actually number 2 behind Houston. They are only giving up 63.1 points per game. Now, ASU scoring 80, so there's your difference. ASU, on the other hand, is 15th. They're second to last, giving up 80.7 points per game. I mean, and that's crazy to me because they're giving up 80.7, right? And they are they're 80.4. So their games are literally coming down to like 0-0. Now the Houston game didn't. The Arizona game, again, a 7-point win, but I mean it's right there. So yeah, need to challenge a few more shots, challenge some threes. Don't let them get the open look threes. If some guys are shooting cold, sag off them, but challenge it. If they're cold, then make them work for it even harder. And of course they know that. I know they know that. Coach Hurley knows that. Way overstate the obvious. So that is at the women tonight, though. We will wrap on this, guys. The women tonight are taking on West Virginia. That's at 5 o'clock our time. That's on ESPN Plus. You can also listen to it on 1440 AM as well. But 5 p.m. Arizona time, West Virginia. And the women, again, 17-2 overall, phenomenal. Talk about they're 4-2 in conference play, unblemished at home still, which is phenomenal. 6-2 away, again, huge. So very, very solid. I mean, again, perfect home record, phenomenal, beautiful, and a very, very strong, road record at 6-2. And then when we look at the when you look at the standings, obviously in the Big 12, Texas Tech is 6-1. They finally lost their first game in conference play. They're 19-1. I mean, so they were 19-0. They ripped off 19, and you know who got them? K-State, 65-59. So they won their first 19, and they play 500 ball, and they're obviously a very high seed in the tournament. Although I saw some of that, we're not going to get into that right now. I didn't get into it when I was talking to myself, so I'm not going to get into it now. But Texas Tech and TCU, Baylor are all 6-1 in the women's Big 12 hoop standings, and then Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and Utah are all 5-2. ASU by themselves at 4-2, and then you have BYU and K-State at 3-3, Colorado at 3-4, and then Cincinnati and Iowa State at 2-5. Iowa State was unblemished in non-con, and they have 5 losses in conference play, so they're 2-5, as is UC. So Iowa State, UCF are 2-5. Kansas, the Jayhawks, they are 2-6. And then that team down south is 1-6, and Houston has the big goose egg, 0-7 in conference play, 6-12 overall. But ASU again, 17-2. West Virginia's 15-4, but they're number 22 in the country. So unranked ASU, again, still a joke. I know who their 2 losses are to. I get it, but homer or not, they should be ranked. It's the eye test, guys, not a lifetime achievement. Texas Tech definitely should be ranked higher than 19. TCU at 9. All right, they dropped the game. Baylor's at 14. West Virginia's at 22. But I definitely feel that in Oklahoma State, I mean, they're 16-4. Why are they not ranked? Utah is 5-2, but one of Utah's 2 conference losses is to, Utah did lose to Washington. They lost to Washington, Syracuse, and UConn back-to-back early in the season. So ladies are challenged. Utah, definitely, the Utes are challenged. But they lost to ASU 69-68, and they also lost to K-State 80-73. And somehow Again, who are you going to take out? Believe me, if you rip through all the schedules, you can find them. But ASU, West Virginia, again, number 22 in the country, and they are tied for 4th in the Big 12, which would put ASU 7th. Again, because with the conference records. But anyway, that's that. But yes, ASU 4-2 right now, and then. But guys, huge. Looking at the stats, and I wish I so wish. Audi Kirk's from Iowa State's averaging 27 points a game. Samaya Nichols is averaging 18.5 from Kansas, and we just beat Kansas. So, but individually, let's see. Sydney Shaw is making 2.5 3-pointers a game. She is 5th in the Big 12 overall. Individually, and then let's see. And then Sydney Shaw also for steals 2.4. She is 4th in the Big 12. But team-wise, when you look at it, West Virginia is 4th in the conference, 78.6 points a game. They are 4th, and ASU is 14th. That's 68.1 points per game. And there's games they've gotten over that, but 68.1 to West Virginia 78.6. So again, but when you look at points allowed, ASU is 4th in the Big 12 at 57.1, and West Virginia is 5th at 58.5. Point differential, West Virginia is tied for 4th at plus 20.1. For ASU, they are 8th, and they're plus 11 in point differential this year. So 1.5 behind BYU, again, who they fell short against, and they're 17. Yeah, they're 17 behind TCU, who they definitely fell short against. They're a tough team. Heard Coach Miller talk about it again. Watch it, but yeah, look, and for West Virginia, for West Virginia, when you look at it, and their leading scorer, by the way, is Gia Cook, who's averaging 14.5 points a game. They have 4 averaging in double figures. Gia Cook, their guard, at 14.5. Kiara Wheeler at 13.7, and a forward. Another guard, Jordan Harrison, at 12.8, and Sydney Shaw, another guard, at 12.3. So that's 51 points between 4 players that you're banking on tonight. Kiara Wheeler also leading the team. She's averaging 13 and 7.5, so almost 8 boards a game. So 13 and 7 assists. Jordan Harrison, who's averaging 12.8 points, is averaging 5.2 assists to lead the team. Jordan Harrison also leading the team with 2.6 steals per game, and Carter McCray has 0.8 blocks per game. But Harrison, but Wheeler, like I said, 7.5 rebounds a game and 13.7 points. So they're spreading the ball around as West Virginia. So that's the thing. When they've won, again, they play some teams with pretty big wins. For ASU, though, as you guys know, on the on the points wise. Leading the team. $16.3 points per game. You know who it is, Gabrielli. Now there's 3 in double figures for the Devils. 16.3 for Gabby Elliott. McKenna Brackens averaging 14.3 a game. Carrera went over. She was just under 10. Now she's at 10.5 a game after her 22-point explosion against Kansas. But yeah, 10.5 a game there, and she's also averaging 5.4 rebounds a game. But McKenna Bracken's leading the team in rebounds, so 14-7 for her, 16-5 for Gabby Elliott. Like these 3, and Marley Washington's she's at 8.5. She had, a very, very tough game. Again, cut down on the fouls. Last year, she just running the offense. You look at points, 5.2 a game, but Poe is leading the team with 4.2 assists a game. So, that's, again, and those 3, and the way they're playing defense, her coach Miller talked about it, it's going to take that defensive effort because, look, West Virginia, again, they got 4 scores, and ASU can too, and coach talked about different people stepping up, but you're going to want multiple people stepping up tonight in West Virginia, in which, again, that game is at 5 o'clock our time. That game is at 5 o'clock our time, ESPN Plus. So, I think the Devils get the win, man. I really do. It's again, it's going to be tough. They're number 22, but the Devils are, again, destined for a road game like this. Again, improvement. They're locked in. Not that West Virginia is not, but they're so locked in. And when they do beat West Virginia tonight, going to be a close one. I say the Devils win by 5. I don't know the score. Devils win by 5. And again, it has nothing to do with betting purposes. You guys know I never cover that. I talk about it, but yeah, it's not my cup of tea. But I say the Devils win by 5. And I think the men went on a last shot 3-pointer. Men went on a last shot 3-pointer, so they both get the win tonight. I know, call me a homer, that's fine, but that is that. So, but the men, again, at DFA, that game is at 7 p.m. So get to DFA, early. And, again, you can be watching the women's game on ESPN Plus. That'll be wrapping up. The men will be getting started. Women's sending that vibe and that energy. And, because they're going to play hard. The playing hard of the vibe and energy, absolutely awesome. So, yes. But, again, apologies for apologies to myself for being an idiot, but for, again, hitting go live, and then not hitting it the second time and just running the show and doing the preview and everything. But forks up again, sound from Willie Bloomquist. It deserved the extension. Absolutely stoked he got his extension. And they're rolling. Love that baseball schedule. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yes, but that's going to do it. So have a wonderful rest of your Mike days at Hump Day. Woo, woo. Yep, I know. That's just for Mama. She always that is still her favorite commercial. I know. I did it off the top when I did the initial top. But anyway, yes. So that is still her favorite commercial with my name in it. But that being said, yes. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Let's go get to the Devils tonight. Tomorrow we'll be out at swimming again. Absolutely awesome. Again, stay tuned for who the awesome guests are. But we are going to get some Some from the men's swimming team coming off again that awesome Big 12 West dominating win. Women, I mean, they won too, both of them dominating. So, but yeah, starting on the men's side tomorrow. So before we get out of here again, thanks to back-to-back reigning Big 12 champs, women's volleyball, for always reminding me that it is #OurState, and I will always say that at the end of every show. The team down south, remember it. Please write it down. I know it is #OurState. It is Sparky State, so forks up. But yes, I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Again, at Diablo00 on X, R21 on Twitter. My IG, Michael.Caratonudo.5. Yes, you know that as well too. And the YouTube channel. Again, guys, watch live. If you're just jumping on now, again, normally I'd be way done by now, but we started late. The live started late. I didn't start late. Live did. But anyway, a phenomenal rest of your day. But go to YouTube. It's at Emerson Michael V as in Victory Season Champ 005 at MVC005. Subscribe away. You can catch up, binge watch Season 1, binge watch Season 2, keep watching Season 3. Be all caught up, loving Sun Devil Nation. So I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Go Devils. And you guys know, as always, forks up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
27-yard line. That's a great call. Play fake. Farmer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pool touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levitt swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again.
Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Chuck this deep this year. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025. This one the other way. Still going back. That's the track. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.